Prince Harry has come under fire after a 2016 clip resurfaced of the Duke slamming the public's incessant need to find out every little detail that goes on behind the scenes. Harry is seen on BBC's The Andrew Marr Show, saying, "Everyone has a right to their privacy and a lot of the members of the general public get it. But sadly in some areas, there's this incessant need to find out every little detail that goes on behind the scenes. It's unnecessary. The private life has to be private and I hope people respect that." Royal commentator Angela Levin responded to the clip, shared by Riley Dog, saying, "I doubt anyone wanted to read and spare about him wetting his pants before meeting Meghan for the first time." Levin was referring to one of the more surprising revelations to come out of Harry's memoir, Spare. In his book, the Duke reveals he ended up wetting himself hours before he was due to meet his future wife, Meghan Markle, for their first date. The Duke describes how could no longer hold it in when he was out at sea for a racing competition on a boat that had no toilet. "All I cared about was jumping into the water, washing off the pee from my trousers and getting back to London as fast as possible where I was about to start my real race," the Duke recounted. Meghan and Harry should be very concerned after South Park went for the jugular. Prince Harry and Meghan erased from Queen's Commonwealth Trust website in new relaunch. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been erased from the Queen's Commonwealth Trust website in the site's new relaunch. Their removal comes after they took aim at the Commonwealth in their Netflix series, Harry and Meghan, which was released on the streaming service in December. This is not the first time Harry and Meghan have faced charges of hypocrisy after stepping back from royal life, but the Sussexes have repeatedly denied claims they were seeking greater privacy. Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from royal life in early January 2020 was announced in two coordinated statements from the Duke and Duchess and Buckingham Palace. In their statement at the time, the Sussexes said, "We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honour our duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth and our patronages. This geographic balance will enable us to raise our son with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born, while also providing our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of our new charitable entity." Donald Trump is own worst enemy, ex-aide says, inside train carrying hazardous chemicals derails in Michigan, latest man frozen to death in prison walk-in freezer. Report, during their interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, the Duchess of Sussex said the media created a false narrative. "I've never talked about privacy." The allegation was further leveled against the pair following the release of their Netflix series in December last year. Commentators at the time suggested the Netflix series, which focused heavily on press intrusion, contradicted the Sussexes' reasoning for leaving the UK. For example, Dickie Arbiter, a former press secretary to the late Queen, told GB News after watching the first 3 episodes on Thursday, they left because they wanted privacy. Prince Harry's cruelty to King Charles knows no bounds as royals await coronation RSVP. "Well, so much for privacy in this documentary because we are seeing a lot of family photographs." And another critic responding to one of the trailers was quoted saying, "They've blown their own protestations out of the water and detonated their own privacy policy." The Sussexes' global press secretary rejected the claims at the time, adding that a distorted narrative had been created. Ashley Hansen said in a written statement, "The Duke and Duchess have never cited privacy as the reason for stepping back. This distorted narrative was intended to trap the couple into silence. In fact, Their statement announcing their decision to step back mentions nothing of privacy and reiterates their desire to continue their roles and public duties. Any suggestion otherwise speaks to a key point of this series. They are choosing to share their story, on their terms, and yet the tabloid media has created an entirely untrue narrative that permeates press coverage and public opinion. The facts are right in front of them. However, the release of Prince Harry's best-selling memoir, Spare, on January 10, further emboldened the couple's critics, with Washington-based commentator Niall Gardner tweeting, "Trashing the royal family is big business for Harry and Meghan."